Okay, so if you look at this particular question here, we are going to use this to discuss a concept about budgets. So here, I believe some of you, maybe, of course, majority of you are working maybe in the finance department, if not all, and you'll be able to see the company at the end of the month or even at the end of 2 months. You'll be able to see them saying they don't have money. They cannot be able to pay salaries for that particular month. Yet, if you look at the sales amount, it has increased by 10%, by 15%. What is really happening here? The company says they cannot be able to pay the salaries, for example, for the month of October. Yet, if you look at the sales for the month of October, it rose by 13% compared to what they had in the month of September. So what might be the issue here? The company has made sales of the highest value, yet they are saying that they cannot be able to pay salaries. They cannot afford. They don't have money to pay for the salaries. What might be the issue? What might be the issue to this particular company? Yes, what might be the issue? What might be the issue to this particular company? They have made sales of the highest value for the entire year compared to what they have been doing for the entire year. But now the company is not able to pay salaries. So what might be the issue? One, yes, I can see great points here. So number one, there is low collection. Good. We have sales on credit. They might be making great sales, yes, but 90% of this is being done on credit. And you are able to recall when we are dealing with the cash flows, we said it is very difficult to convert credits, to convert debtors into cash. It is very difficult to convert inventory into cash. So here, those who owe the company money might not pay. All of those debtors in the books of the company might change to what we call bad debts written off. So the highest value of sales does not directly translate into money. Number two, credit sales with extended credit period. Yes, when we are doing ratios, you're also able to see, if you look at the financial statement of the company, you do your ratio analysis, you'll be able to find that the time which they are taking to pay their suppliers is shorter compared to the time their debtors are taking to pay what they owe the company. So that might be another issue. Then the sales, most of it is on credit. Okay, that has been mentioned. Then credit sales, good. Poor budgeting, sunk cost too high, overdue bills, low sales margin, more expenses. So here, today we want to be specific and look at what we call cash budget. We want to look at this particular or use this information to look at what we call cash budget. Yes, we are able to see the sales for this particular months. Are they really going to translate into cash? Is there something that's going to happen here? That is what we want to look at. So let's read. We have Relay Limited is currently following a centralized material storage system. The company is in the process of preparing its cash budget for the second quarter of the year 2023 and has availed the following data. So this is what we have. We are given sales, we are given material purchases, production overheads, selling overheads, then we have salaries and wages. So when you come down here, additional information number 1, the cash sales are 60% of total sales. So we are now able to see that out of this amount which is given there for sales in the month of January, only 60% was done on cash basis. The remaining 40% was done on credit. And are these customers going to pay them within the required period? Are they going to pay everything after 1 month, or there will be some amount that are going to be outside there? So 60% are done on cash basis. The remaining sales are collected equally during the following 2 months. Assets are to be acquired in the month. So you can see the items that you mentioned there are already appearing in our question. Assets are to be acquired in the month of April 2023 and May 2023. Therefore, provisions should be made for payments of 16 million and 65 million for the same. So there's a provision which will be made in the month of April, and also provision that will be made in the month of May. So somebody mentioned something to do with the CapEx, capital expenditure, which we've seen is there in additional information number 2. About sales was already mentioned by majority, and it is there in additional information number 1. Number 3, an application has been made to the bank for the grant of a loan, 45 million. And it is hoped that the loan will be received in the month of May. The company has seen they are not able to meet salaries for the month of May. And for them to do that, to their employees, they must take a loan. So they have already planned for a loan in the month of May to increase the cash level in the company or liquidity. Then we have credit for materials purchased are granted 1 month, credit after month of purchase. So another thing, for them to return money into the business, they have decided to acquire raw materials on credit so that they are going to pay it. They are going to pay the suppliers in bits, maybe after 1 month or after 2 months, depending on the agreement with the supplier. So what are they trying to do? They are trying now to cap or to bridge this gap here to ensure that they avail a lot of money available to be used in paying these people. How do you know the loan was meant to pay salaries? Okay, that's just an example. Maybe it was being brought and being used to purchase the asset. Remember, there's an asset to be purchased in the month of May. So instead of taking the money from sales, they take that amount borrowed from the bank to pay for the purchase of the asset, or they just use whatever they have acquired from sales to pay salaries, but then the asset will be purchased by what they have been providing there, or even purchase that asset on credit. We never know. Then number five, monthly production overheads includes depreciation of 5 million per month. So the production overheads includes monthly depreciation of 5 million. So we'll know what to do with that. Remember, the examiner wants us to prepare what we call cash budget. Anything that does not involve money should be ignored. If it was included in our amount, then we have to eliminate it. Then number 6, selling overheads are paid 1 month after the month in which the overhead occurred. If the selling expenses occurred in the month of January, they will not be paid for in the month of January. They are going to pay for this in the month of February. What are they doing? They are trying to delay the time when they are going to spend this amount so that at least they maximize the amount of money available for meeting short-term or emergency expenses. Then we have salaries and, number 7, salaries commission at 3% on sales is paid to the salesman each month. Even though the salary will be delayed, but the salaries commission will be paid instantly. It will not have to wait. How about salaries? Number 8, salaries and wages are paid monthly at the end of the month. So salaries also should not be delayed, because if you try to delay the salary, these people will not come to work. And what will happen? The sales value will reduce. So the salaries, of course, are paid on the same month. An advance tax of 20 million is due in April 2023. Maybe those people were calculating the installment tax. So the company is supposed to pay the first installment in the month of April. How much are they supposed to pay? 20 million. So it is cash outflow. Then they are giving us something that on additional information number 10, the cash budget or the cash balance as at 1st of April 2023 is estimated as 144,500,000. So the cash balance in the beginning of the month of April is given there as 144,500,000. So have we been able to understand that by just doing the analysis? Have we been able to understand something? Have we been able to understand something? So when you have this plan in place, you will know how to spend the money, when to spend the money, and even the sources of this money that you're supposed to spend. You don't spend, then you do the planning later. No, you first of all budget. What do I want to spend on? What do I want to acquire as a company? What do I want to acquire as an individual? From that point, after doing the budget, you'll be able, in the process of doing this budget, you'll be able to understand the sources of income. What do I need to? Where will I get money from? Will I borrow money from the bank? If you're going to borrow money from the bank, will you be able to take care of the interest? How will you be paying the interest? Such kind of things must be incorporated in your budget. Like if you look at additional information number 3, application has been made to the bank for the grant of a loan of 45 million, and it is hoped that the loan will be received in the month of May. Maybe they could have said, going back or going forward to the month of June, they are going to start paying for this loan at an interest rate of 15% on reducing balance method. So what do they need? They'll request you to prepare amortization schedule, so that from that amortization schedule, you'll be able to tell us the amount of money that is supposed to be, that will be paid. What portion will be going to the interest? What portion will be reducing the principal? But here we are basically interested in the installment, because that installment is what we are going to take from the bank, from the account of the company. Should be 1st of April 2022 or 2023. Commencing 1st of April 2020. A cash budget for the second quarter of the year, commencing 1st of April to 30th June 2023. I believe it is just clear. Their financial year is starting on 1st of April. 1st of April to 30th June. So let's have this one here. That 2022, let's make it to be 2023. Let's make it 2023. Because if we change it to 2022, we are going to be forced to change everything up here to 2022. I think there's just a slight mistake there. Good. So are we now okay? Are we now okay with that? Should we now start doing the question? Should we now start doing the question? Should we now start doing the question? Good. What they want you to do is to prepare for 1st of April 2023 to 30th June 2023. But remember, the data starts from January. And I will show you why. Remember, somebody will be ignoring what we have in the month of January, February, March. Then they are going to start from April. If you start from April, even though the examiner wants you to get it from April to June, be assured you are going to get a 0 at some point. You are going to get a 0 in many cases. Why? There are those closing balances of the previous month that will be the opening balance of the current period. The closing balances for the month of March will be the opening balances for the month of April. You cannot get the real data of April without the opening balances. So that one means you have to get to March. For you to do the things for March, you must be having the closing balances for the month of February. For you to do things in the month of February, you must be aware of some things that happened in the month of January. So are we getting something out of that? Are we getting something out of that? If you are told to do a cash budget, don't start with that month which they want you to prepare, like month of April. No, there must be something from March which will affect your transactions in the month of April. So let's come to January. So what you are going to do is very, very simple here. I want us to put these months here horizontally, not vertically the way they are appearing there. Let's have our months here. Let's have our months here. Let's have our months here. Let's have our months. Let's have our months horizontally. So once you have the months horizontally, we want to start looking at these key items. One of them will be sales. How will these sales affect our activities here? So we want, first of all, focus on revenue part. We want to focus on revenue part. So let's just have the sales, because from these sales, we'll be able to get revenue. What is the sales for the month of January? Sales for the month of January. What do we have? 144 million, is it? So of course, somebody can come and refer to this, which you can also use transpose to transfer that immediately. But I don't want to complicate things, as at now, we should be able to see how will we save on time. Coming up with the formulas at this time might confuse somebody who knew everything, but now because of the formula, they are wondering whether they are doing the right thing or not. So let's transfer the sales down there. Then we see the statement about the sales. Let's transfer the sales down there. Have we been able to do that? Have we been able to transfer the sales? Have we been able to transfer the sales? Good. So having done that for the sales, we are told that 60% of these sales are done on cash basis. So the cash sales are 60% of the total sales. We want to start now looking for the cash that was collected. So the first one, we have cash sales, which is 60% of the sales. So can someone just come here and put 60? If you cannot put maybe 60%, somebody will be putting 60% there. Then you multiply by the sales for the month of January. By doing that, you'll be able to get the total sales up to the month of June. So for me to confirm that you've been able to do the right thing, can you give me the cash sales for the month of May? Cash sales for the month of May. What do we have? Cash sales for the month of May. 123 million. 123 million. 12,300,000. Okay, I can see majority are talking about 12 million. 123 million. Good. So let's come here and compare the results. Then we see it is 123 million. That is the cash sales. Good. To this cash sales, we are going to add something. What are they telling us about the balance? Because we expect to receive cash from whatever we sold. How about the 40%? And I want us also to be keen on this question because sometimes this is what they are going to tell you. 60% of the total sales. Then they tell you that 60% of the remaining portion. Tunaelewana? So somebody will be coming here, they get 60%. Then this is what they are going to do to you. 60 cash sales are 60% of total sales. The remaining sales are collected equally during the following 2 months. Another term, they can decide to use this. They will tell you that 60% of the balance, 60% of the balance is cleared within 1 month, from the time or from the month of sale, comma, 60% of the balance. Then they are telling you that 40% of the balance, 40% of the balance is cleared or is cleared 2 months from the month of sale. Then, so we've taken 60% of that. Actually, they're supposed to give you here 35 or 37%. 37% of the balance is cleared 2 months from the month of sale, and the balance is regarded as bad debts written off. Hapa sasa mtu atakuwa amepotea kabisa. You are told that 60% of the total sales. So what is this? It is 60% of this total sales. Then 60% of the balance. Utatafuta 60% of the balance, which is 60% of the balance in E minus this. Sorry. It will be the total sales minus 60% yenye imetolewa hapo. Then of the balance, 60% is collected within 1 month from the month of sale. 37%, 2 months from the time of sale. Then 3% now will be regarded as bad debts written off. Ukiweka hiyo peke yake, watu wamepotea kabisa. But here they have tried to simplify it by giving you, it was simplified by you being told that 60% of total sales was done on cash. The balance was done on 2 months on equal installments, within 2 months on equal installments. So that is what. So if they decide to bring this, and then if the examiner wants you again to get confused, another thing they are going to do, for the cash sales that was done, which is 60%, they were given a discount of 2%. Cash sales are 60% of the total sales, and they were given 3% cash discount. Ukiweka hivyo, watu wanawachana na hiyo your question, because they are going to see a lot of things, yet it's a matter of just understanding the language of the examiner. So to avoid those many issues, let's just use what was provided. Let's have this. So we have already calculated the 60%, which was done on cash basis. Then what are they telling us about the balance? The remaining sales are collected equally during the following 2 months. So the balance, hiyo balance yenye imebaki will be collected equally during the following 2 months. What does it mean? E84, so let's treatment under the different scenarios. Yes, so let's have here, the cash is already collected. Then we have credit sales. Credit sales. Can someone help me understand the amount that you are going to collect in the month of January or month of February? How much will we collect from the credit sales? So let's get the credit sales that will be collected. The credit sales is now the balance. The credit sales is now the balance. For example, this credit sales is basically total sales less cash sales for the month of January. That is the credit sales for January up to June. But we are being told that credit sale, credit sale for January, will be collected equally for the next 2 months. Equally. So if it will be collected equally, cash sales tumeambiwa ni 60% of the total sales. So John, can you give us 60% of 144 million? 60% of 144 million unapata ngapi? John? %60 of 144 million is 86. So this is how we are getting that figure. This is how we are getting the cash sales. And the difference between the cash sales and the total sales is the credit sales. Na tunaambiwa credit sales will be collected equally during the following 2 months. So it means whatever was remaining as credit in the month of January will be realized in the month of February and also in the month of March equally. Where are other figures coming from? Okay, Fatma, you made sales totaling to 144 million. These people who purchased these goods, they have paid you instantly 86,000 or 86,400,000. How much are they owing you? If they told you that they are going to pay you next time, how much will you be requesting from them? They bought goods worth 144 million. They have paid 86,400. How much do they owe you? How much do they owe you, Fatma? That is the 57,600 which you are getting down here. So I believe you've been able to see it. So this 57,600, we are being told you are not going to receive it in the month of January. No. Because if you receive it in the month of January, it translates to cash sales. No, 60% you're going to lock it. If you put 60% somewhere here, if you decide to put 60% somewhere here, then you now want to refer to that 60%. You will be telling us that it is equal to 60%, which is now referred to from a given cell. So at that point, you lock it. At that point, you lock that 60%. And another thing, as we move forward, please try as much as possible to avoid those locking unless you don't have a choice. Because you'll find that somebody will be taking so much time to lock the cells, yet it is something that you could have just calculated and worked it out without locking those many things. So let's come down here. What will I do? I want to deal with the credit sales. I will come here. I know the first one will be realized in the month of February. So I'll come here and say equal to whatever was there in the previous period minus what was collected, the whole of it, the whole of it, the whole of it, the whole of it. Somebody will be doing this, the whole of it, I divide by 2. The whole of it, I divide by 2. But this is now the challenge. This is now the challenge. When you do that, it will not give you 28,800, which you expect to be also realized in the month of March. No, it will not give you that. You'll be able to see it is now again giving you the items for February. So to avoid that, you've been able to see that you are going to have 28,800. That's why I'm saying avoid the formulas if you can. So long as you're able to get the right answer, go with that. So I'll simply come here and take 144 million minus this one here. But because I want to retain them for within that range, I'm going to lock them within that range. Just see how this thing is going to take my time for me to be able to work it out. I have 28, then I deal with it up to this point. Having done that, I will come again. Let me just do it maybe up to June. Another thing you need to understand, they are going to extend. So what do I need to do? I just bring here July. I just bring July and even August. Bring July and August. I bring July and August there. So this is what is going to happen. Whatever was sold in the month of January, that credit that is remaining is supposed to be realized in the month of February and in the month of March equally. What was sold in the month of February? What was sold in the month of February? F32. F32. Minus whatever was collected as cash in the month of February. Whatever is sold in the month of February, less cash received in the month of February. The balance I should divide by 2. Then spread it to the month of which month? Spread to the month of what I sold in the month of February will be realized in the month of March and also April. Is it? Mtu amekosea, mtu amekosea. Mtu amekosea. The remaining sales are collected equally during the following 2 months. What you sold in January, you are receiving in February and in March. Tunaelewana? Are we getting something really? Let me bring these ones down. Of course, these ones are not going to be part of your workings. Tunaelewana kweli? See what we've done to the sales of January. We received them in February and in March. Is it? We received them in January, in February and in March. So this is what I was saying. You'll be able to see a lot of things are going to confuse you there. Let me now come, having dealt with the credit sales for the month of January, I come to February. Whatever was sold in February will be received in March and also April. So I come down here and indicate 200,000. So just indicate 200,000 minus 120,000. The whole of it, we divide by 2. The whole of it, we divide by 2. Is it? So if you divide by 2, the first one you're receiving in March, the second one you're receiving in which month? In the month of April. Just say equal to that. I believe that one will be very easy for someone to understand. Good. Thank you for that. Yes. Now, we've dealt with whatever was done, whatever was sold in which month? We've dealt with whatever was sold in which month? In the month of February, credit was 80. So we are receiving it in March and also April. Si tumeona hiyo 40-40. You divide it equally. Let's come to the month, the sales that were done in the month of March. We were having a credit ya pesa ngapi? 72,000. That 72,000, we are going to receive it in equal months, 2 months equally. So it means whatever was sold in the month of March will be received in April and also May. So I'll come to April here and indicate what I sold in March less what I received in the month of March, and those ones there, I divide it equally. I divide by 2. Tunapata ngapi? 36. That 36 will be received in the month of April and also in the month of May. Where is that? If you add the 2, you are getting 72,000, which is the credit sales in the month of March. When I come to April, I made sales in the month of April. As you can see, I made sales of 150 million. Then I received cash of how much? I received cash of how much? Oh, my formula haijakuwa complete hapa. You are getting 60% of all that. 60%. Good. So in the month of April, I made sales. In the month of April, I made sales of 150 million, and then I received cash of 90 million. So from that, I'll be able to get the credit sales. But these credit sales, I'm supposed to receive them now equally in two months. So when you receive it equal, you're going to receive 30,000 for May and also 30,000 for June. If you add these two, you are getting 60,000, which is the credit sales in the month of April. Are we really getting something? Are we really getting something out of this? What if you get 20% January plus February sales to calculate the credit sales? Are we getting something? Are we getting some confusing? So imagine you take that and then you bring again locking of the sales, and somebody is hearing that for the first time. Will they really use those 3 hours to do the right thing? Atachukua 3 hours akizungusha this Excel file up and down. So we've been able to take care of what was done in the month of April. Let's get to the month of May. When you make sales in the month of May, you are supposed to receive the balance. You're supposed to receive the balance in the month of June and July, equal to the sales that were made in May less cash received in May. The whole of that amount, we divide by 2 for us to be able to see what we are going to receive in the month of June and also month of July with respect to the sales of May. So I'm able to see 41. If you add these two, it is the credit sales of May that we are dividing equally. When I come down here, when I come down to June, the sales of June will be received in the month of July and August. So the sales of June, which is 208 million, I less cash received in the month of May, and then I do what? I divide by 2. When that is done, I'm able to see I'm getting 41,600. It was received in July and August. If I add these two, I'm getting 83,200,000. That is what I have here as the credit sales for the month of June. So have we been able to see the importance of adding July and August? Have we been able to see the importance of having that? Examiner did not mention anything about July and August, but now we are able to see we are getting values for those 2 months. The same way, we were told to start from April. Tuliambiwa tuanzie April. So imagine you just came to this question and started from April. Look at what you could have missed. First of all, the sales that were done in March are spreading to April. Those who are done in February actually is taking March and April. So we have this figure here, and also 40. The one that was done in March is affecting April and May. So imagine you started from April directly. You could have missed marks for not including these 2 figures and also not including this 36 million. Good. So by doing that, I think we've been able to deal interpretation ingeniangusha mapema sana. Okay, so we've already been able to deal with the cash, with the sales, any amount of money we are going to receive from sales. Hiyo tumemalizana nayo. Is it now clear to somebody? Anything related to sales, we have cash sales 60%, we've already received it. The remaining received in 2 months, equally during the following, or received equally during the following 2 months. How are you getting 40 of March? How are you getting 40,000 of March? Where is March? Here. Okay. Just read the information number 1. Cash sales are 60% of total sales. The remaining sales are collected equally during the following 2 months. So I decided for us to get cash sales, we take 60% of the total sales. We've already done that up to the month of June. Then, if we had total sales of 144 million, our credit sales will be total sales less cash sales. Hizo credit sales tumeweka hapa chini. Hizo credit sales tumeweka hapa chini. The credit sales. Then, what are they telling us? This credit sale of January, 57,600, you divide it equally. Then, first part is received in February. The second part is received in March. That's why you're able to see 57,600, if you divide by 2, is giving you 28. Unaona hii? Angalia hapa hivi total 57,600. The credit sales in the month of February will be received equally in the month of March and April. That is 80 million divided by 2 is giving us 40 million and also 40 million in the month of April. 2 equal months, equally. The following 2 months, the sales made in February, those credit sales, we receive them in the month of March and April. Those sales, those credit sales made in March will be received in April and May. So 72 divided by 2, 36. 60 credit sales will be received in May and June. Tumeona hapo sasa? Is it now clear? Good. Let's proceed. So we've already dealt with any amount of money we are going to receive from sales. Any amount of money we are going to receive from sales is already taken care of. It's already taken care of. So let's now come to another source of cash. Do we have any information that is giving us money into the business? Do we have any information that will be giving us money into the business? Any information? Number 3, an application has been made to the bank for the grant of bank loan of 45 million, and it is believed, or they hope that that amount will be received in the month of May. So I'll come here, I will come down here, so I can decide to indicate there. Let me give it a space. I indicate here receipts. So these ones are from sales. Then I come down here, which row has not been used? This one here. or it has also been used. Let me see. Oh, hiyo pia tumetumia, but we haven't received the loan yet. Let's read that information very well. Very well, very well, very well, very well. Bank loan, bank loan, bank loan. An application has been made to the bank for the grant of loan of 45 million, and they believe that the loan will be received in the month of, which month are they going to receive the loan? Hiyo pesa inaingia kwa kampuni lini? Which month? Which month are they receiving that money? Which month? May, 45 million. 45 million. Even the sales that we are talking about 60% here, remember they have not even mentioned anything about bad debts. Assume the balance, 20% will be bad debts written off. Okay, somebody is talking about additional information number 2. Angalia hapa. Receipts, tunatafuta pesa kwanza. After receiving all the amounts, then we start spending them. So, do you want to spend before even you know what you have? Let's get the money first, and then from that point we'll be budgeting for what we have. Good. So let's go to the next one. After receiving the bank loan in additional information number 3, what else are we expecting to give us money? What are we expecting to give us money again? Do we have any other thing that is going to give us money? We are to deal with cash inflows, then we do. What else? What else? Hiyo already tuko nayo, hiyo iko ndani, hiyo hatutafuti, hiyo hatupati kwingine. That one is already there in the information. Creditors for material purchased are granted 1 month credit after the month of purchase. Sasa, I have a question for you. We are going to purchase raw materials. You are going to purchase raw materials. If you purchase raw materials, unalipwa ama unalipa? Are you paid because you've purchased the raw materials, or you pay for the raw materials? You pay for the raw materials. But when you pay, the policy of your supplier says that those credit customers or credit purchases for materials purchased are granted 1 month credit after month of purchase. If you purchase those raw materials in the month of January, your supplier allows you to pay for them in the month of February. Your supplier allows you to pay for them in the month of February. Hiyo tuko nayo hapa. HP, check this one here, the bank loan. So let's now get, having received this, so let's talk of total receipts. Total receipt. Total receipts. So can someone give me the total receipts for the month of May? Hapo sasa nitashika nayo watu. How about the cash balance? Tumesema cash balance, you are not going to look for it. It is already there. We are only going to use it to get now the net cash balance. The net cash balance. The net cash balance. I'm going to show you how to deal with it. For the month of May, nataka May peke yake, so that I do it, then we see. May. What is the total? Total receipts for the month of May. Total receipts for the month of May. So I'll come here and add. I'll come here and add all this. The cash sales, credit sales that were collected now in terms of cash, and then any other cash inflow. When you add that, let me just autofill my figures. So the month of May, any person who gave us more than 234, jua tu umekosea. Including Miriam, anajua tu amekosea. So that is what we have. Our total receipts, yes, these were the sales, but out of 144, 86 was collected in the month of January. Sasa hapa ndio unasikia kampuni na kuambia, when umesimamia sales, in the month of January, uliuza 144 million, lakini unaambiwa ati wako tu na 86 million. Unajiuliza, watu wamepeleka pesa wapi? So have you been able to see where the money has gone to? Kumbe, hii pesa yote yenye waliuza, 57,600 iko huku, was received in February and March. The only amount they received is 86,400. In the month of February, unasema, at least we've tried. Actually, we've now increased our sales to from 144 million to 200 million. This time around, I expect them to say that they have a lot of money. Wapi? Kuja hapo February, waangalie chenye walifanya. They only collected 120 and also the 28,800, which was sold in the month of January. Wanakuambia tena 80 million bado haiko, hawajapokea, yet you sold 200 million. So are you able to see that? Are you able to see that, Miriam? We add the total cash received in this duration, the cash and the credit sales that were received now after the months of sale. Tumeona hapo. Just say, somebody will say equal to sum, then they come and select all this within that range. Na wanafanya hivi, wana autofill. Have you been able to see that? Good. So having received the money, we now go to expenses, or we now go to what we call payments. So let's go to payments. So the payments hapa number 1 tunaanza na gani? Payments, kuna ingine pia itatuzungusha. Payments, number 1, I'm able to see they made material purchases. So these material purchases, something is going to happen here. These material purchases. Let's go to number 4. Credit for material purchased are granted 1 month, or creditors for material purchases are granted 1 month credit after the month of purchase. So what are they saying about the purchases? What are they saying about the purchases? Apart from that information number 4. What are they saying about the purchases? What are they saying about the purchases? So they could have also done this. They could have said 70% of purchases were paid for in the month of purchase. The remaining 30% was paid for in the proportion of, or in the ratio of 6:4. In the ratio of 6:4 for the subsequent 2 months respectively. They tell you that the 70% is paid for in the month of purchase. Then the balance, the 30%, is paid for in the ratio of 6:4. Is paid for in the ratio of 6:4 for the subsequent 2 months. But now, they have not done that. They're just mentioning creditors for material purchased are granted 1 month credit after month of purchase. They have not specified the cash purchases, and therefore, from this information, we are going to assume that all purchases were done on credit. And if they are done on credit, it means what was purchased in January is being paid for in the month of February. Here, we are not recording when the purchases were made. We are recording when the money was taken out of the business to pay for these purchases. Tunaelewana? We don't record when you purchased the goods. We record when you paid for the goods, because that payment is what's going to affect our total receipts. These are now the amount of money we received. So that is it. Now, purchases. Purchases. I want somebody to help me. Purchases. Were we given the purchases which were made in the month of December? Because the starting month here is January. Required a cash budget for the second quarter of the year commencing. A cash budget. Anything that does not involve cash, hiyo unatoa kabisa, unasahau. So, do we have any purchases that were done in the month of December? Do we have any? We don't have any. So it means the purchases which were paid for in the month of January is equivalent to what? Ni 0. There's no purchase which were done in the month. The 144 was purchased in December. 144 iko wapi? 144 hii ni sales. Tunaongelea purchases. Purchases, material purchases. Ndio hii. Tunaongelea material purchases. Hii hapa. So material purchases, there was no any which was done in the month of December. They have not mentioned. So it means there is no amount of money you are going to spend in the month of January. But the purchases made in the month of January, which is 50 million, are supposed to be paid for in the month of February. So I'll just come here and make my work to be very simple. In the month of February, I'm receiving or I'm paying for the goods I bought in the month of January. For the month of March, I'm going to pay for the materials that were purchased in the month of February. See how that thing is simple. You copy and paste. Then I come to April. I'm going to basically pay for the items that I bought in March. Then I come to May. I'm going to pay for the items that were purchased in the month of April. Purchase. Oh, is it 2 or 1 month? Let's see if I'm making a mistake. Let's see. Number 4, credit for material purchases are granted 1 month credit after month of purchase. 1 month credit. Tumenunua lini? January. Tunalipia lini? 1 month from the month of purchase. Sasa hiyo ni lini? When is that? Not 2 months from the month of purchase. 1 month. February. Ukinunua January unalipia February. Ukinunua February unalipia March. Na si nimefanya hivyo. Ukikuja hapa, I've recorded what was purchased in April, nimelipia lini? May. And what was purchased in May, sasa nalipia June. What was purchased in May? What was purchased in May, I'm paying for it in the month of June. Then what was purchased in June, what was purchased in June, I'm finally paying for it in the month of July. So we've now been able to see the importance of having July and August. The importance of having July and August. Tumeona hapo sasa. So that's what you're supposed to do for the purchase. By just doing that, you have your mark. You copy and paste. Hapo ni kucopy and paste. You copy, then you paste. Good. Having done that, we've dealt with the materials. Do we have anything that is making us to spend money now? Because we've dealt with the main item, raw materials. Anything, any additional information making us to spend money? Any information that you're supposed to pay for? Any item that you're supposed to pay for? Asset acquisition. In additional information number 2, we are told that assets are to be acquired in the month of April 2023 and May 2023. Good. Therefore, provisions should be made for payments of this and this for the same. Payments are going to be made for these assets. So what they could have done, for them to confuse you very well so that somebody should not get this, what they're supposed to do is, they could have said they're supposed to be acquired in the month of April and May. But, or they could have said assets are supposed to be acquired in the month of February and March, but payments will be made in the month of May and June. Sasa utapata mtu mwingine anachukua hiyo time yenye walizi acquire, that is February and March, they are going to deduct money from the account. Yet they just acquired on credit. The actual payment is being done in the month of May and June. But now for our case here, they said they are supposed to be acquired in the month of April and May. Therefore, provisions should be made for payment of 16 and 65. Yes, they are making provisions, but when are they going to acquire them? Maybe wameweka pesa mahali, but when are they going to now do the actual transaction, taking money from the business to pay for the assets? When will that happen? When will that happen? It is happening in the month of April and May. 16 million and 65 million. 16 million and 65 million. That is done. The next item that will be taking money from the business. The next item. We are done with number 2. We are done with number 3. We are done with number 4. Number 5. What are you supposed to do about number 5? Number 5, monthly production overheads include selling overheads. Okay. I can see it is number 6. Let's go to number 5 maybe. I hope you'll allow us to do that. Number 5, production. The monthly production overheads include depreciation of shillings per month. The monthly production overheads include depreciation of shillings per month. But now what they have not mentioned to us, were these production overheads paid for instantly? They have not mentioned whether they were paid for on credit or instantly. If they are silent about that, you will assume that they were paid for in the month of occurrence. Now, tell me the figure for January. How much will we indicate here for monthly production? The production overheads. Production overhead. Yes, I want you to give me the figure. So from that point, I'll be able to know whether we are understanding the question of the examiner. What was the question? Prepare a cash budget. Production overheads are given here. So can someone give me for the month of January? That's what I need for January only. I want to see someone who is giving me 12 million. 12 million tunapata kutoka kwa nani? 12 million. 12 million tunatoa kwa nani? 12 million. 12 million tunatoa kwa nani? Yes, depreciation is an non-cash item. Hakuna siku tamka asubuhi uandike check to pay for depreciation expense. Is it? Hautatoa pesa. But other production overheads you're going to pay for them. And therefore, this 12 million, you deduct the depreciation that is given there. So I'll take my 12 million less 5 million. 12 million less 5 million. Then I will take 12,300,000 less 5 million. Then I will take 13 million less 5 million. Less 5 million. Then I'll take 17,500 less 5 million. Then I will take 17,700 less 5 million. Then I will take 16,400 less 5 million. Ukifanya hivyo iko sawa. Good. That's number 5. Number 6, selling overheads are paid 1 month. Where are you taking these figures from? Okay, we are up here. Sales, material purchases, production overheads, then selling overheads, and then we have salaries and wages. Is it clear? Is it clear now? Is it clear? Good. Let's get to which one? Selling overheads. Selling overheads are paid 1 month after the month in which the overheads occurred. Selling overheads are paid for 1 month after the month in which the overheads occurred. I want somebody to give me the total selling overhead, the selling overhead which was paid for in the month of April. How much did we pay? We are talking about payments. We are talking about payments. So the overhead for the month of April, Ningapi. Overheads for the month of April. Overheads for the month of April tutachukua ngapi? Overheads for the month of April. They are paid for 1 month after the month in which it was incurred. So for the month of April, I'm going to pay for the overhead which was incurred in the month of March. So what is the figure for the month of March? It is 15,500,000. So let's copy these things here. You copy this and paste. You copy that and paste. But now starting from the month of February. Whatever was incurred in January, you pay for it in February. Si tufanye hivyo. Let's do that. Let's do that. Let's do that. Let's do that. Let's do that very first. What are we having? Tutakuwa na ngapi yote? So I believe you've been able to insert everything there. Good. That one is done. After selling overheads, additional information number 7, salaries commission at 3% on sales is paid to the salesmen each month. Salaries commission, they are paying 3% on sales. Salaries commission. So can someone give me the salaries commission for the month of June? Salaries commission for the month of June. It is an expense. What is salaries commission for the month of June? Given that the percentage is 3%. 3% for the month of June, tutakuwa na ngapi? 3% for the month of June. 3% for the month of June. 3% for the month of June. Good. It is 3%. Then you multiply. Hapa sasa, it is not credit sales. It is not cash sales. It is 3% of the total sales in that particular month. Hiyo una multiply na direct sales for the same month. Hii hapa juu. And because you have the formula now, you simply go straight away to the month of June. So it is 6240. Mwenye alipata 62,400, I believe you've been able to identify where the problem is. Whoever got 62,400, I believe you've identified your mistake. Good. Then we come to number 8. Salaries and wages are paid monthly at the end of the month. Salary hii haitangoja. Kila kitu itangoja, lakini salary patia watu wa patia your employee. So they are going to be paid their salary. Vile walifanya kazi at the end of the month, you have to give them that money. So salaries haitangoja. You pay for them instantly. How do I do that? The simplest way, I believe those people who are in our Excel class wataelewa hii kitu. How do I pick these figures without typing them one by one? Now that here they are arranged vertically na huku ziko horizontally. Just come here, highlight these figures. You do what? You copy. Yes, Marion has identified that. Then you come to this part because they are not going to be paid for in arrears. We start from January. You highlight the whole of this range. You come to home, under paste, there's this option of transpose. Ukifanya hivi, look at what my salaries and wages is doing. Unaona hakuna figure hapo. When I come to transpose, look at what has happened. Mara moja, I have all of them at once. Na hakuna formula nimetransfer. Hakuna formula. It's already placed there. Good. I believe hiyo tumemalizana nayo. Let's go to number 9. An advance tax of 20 million is due in April. Sasa hapa tuko na tax. Tax paid. In which month? In the month of April. Wanalipa pesa ngapi? 20 million. Wanalipa 20 million. Sio tumemalizana nayo. Okay, mtu anasema turudie the sales and wages, how to pick these ones, all of them. Haya, sasa tukuja hapa sisi wote. I'm going to do away with this. There's no adjustment I'm going to do to the to the salaries and wages. So tunaenda pamoja, you come and highlight all of this, you copy. Unaona nimecopy. You copy this. We know there are 6 months. After copying, come to that section where you want to place these salaries and wages. I want to put them here from January to June. Highlight. Pale juu copy, hapa una highlight. You now go to home, under the section of paste, you go to this part here, not just direct, no, you go to the section of paste down there, that drop down list. Ukiangalia hii list yako, the last thing, ukiweka kasa inakuambia nini? Transpose. So look at this part. Hakuna figures, nime highlight too. But look at what is happening to this place when I place my cursor on this. Are you able to see what is happening? Are you able to see what is happening here? Nikifanya tu hivi, nimeziweka zote. Production overhead. Production overhead tuliambiwa hapa vizuri. That is number 5. Monthly production overheads includes depreciation of 5 million per month. Tumesema depreciation is a non-cash item. Hakuna siku utaamka asubuhi uandike check upeleke bank unalipia depreciation for the month of January. Hakuna kitu kama hiyo. So kama your expenses that was paid for, that is production overheads, iko na depreciation hapo ndani, unatoa, you remove the depreciation element, that depreciation part unatoa yote, ndio ubaki na actual production overheads that was paid for. Hapo sasa the balance uliandika check, ukalipa wenye walifanya hiyo kazi. Is it now clear? Good. I want us to do it very fast because we don't want to get into the time of doing the analysis. Kindly repeat on commission. Aya, sasa commission, discount sijaona mahali. Kuna discount hapa? Do you have discounts? Do you have discount? Lois tusaidie hapo. Kuna discount mahali? Hakuna, ama you are referring to the commission? Hao wenye walikuwa nafanya sales, those who are doing sales, or discount and depreciations. Nasema discounts and depreciations. Okay, it depends. Hii discount, the amount you ulifaa ulipe, ukapewa discount. Hii discount sio cash. The discount yenye ulipewa au kulipa pesa, is it? You did not pay money, ama whoever gave you the discount did not give you money in return as a company. We are looking for the actual cash. Which one involved money? The amount you received and the amount you paid out. The amount you received and the amount you paid out. So that is it. I have anything here? Good. So we've been able to trace amount we collected in this particular period and the expenditure, how we spent this money. So are we able to get, let's now get first of all, total payments, total payments. Total payments itakuwa ngapi? Total payments for the month of March. What is our total payments for the month of March? Total payments. Salaries commission tumeambiwa, hawa watu walipewa, the salaries commission at 3% on sales is paid to the salesman on each month. Now, at these, can you give us 3% of 200,000? Because sales for February is 200,000. At this should be able to give us 3% of 200,000. Unapata ngapi? Let's see what this is telling us before we get back to the total. At this, what are you getting? 3% of 200,000. At this anapata ngapi? At this sasa ndio atatusaidia 6. I believe you're referring to 6 million. Is it? Umetoa the last 3 zeros. Unasema ni 6 million, si ndio? Good. Haya, sasa tukuje hapa sales commission for the month of February 200,000 ni 6 million. Sasa umeona penye iko? It is one of the expenses because you paid sales men that percentage and it is an income to them. What is it to the company? An expense. Hiyo tulieka hapa. Good. Mtu anaongelelea additional information number 9. That is an advance tax of 20 million is due in the month of April. Hapa tax paid in which month? April. Tulieka kitambo, iko hapa. Wewe hujaweka hiyo? Kuna mtu hajaweka tax mahali? Kuna mtu hajaweka tax mahali jameni? Opo, umeona hiyo tax kweli? Kwa workings zako umeona tax mahali? Hii tax tulieka. And now I was being given the total payments for the month of January. Total payments for the month of January. Was it January or February? Gani nilikuwa nimeuliza? Let me see. Total payments for the month of March. Total payments for the month of March is this figure here. 107,800,000. 107,800,000. Si tumemaliza payments zote. So let's now get net cash or net cash receipts. Net receipts now. The total amount of money that these people collected. So in the month of January, this is what we are going to do. In the month of January, they received 86,400, yes, but they spent this one here. So what is the balance? If you do that, you should be able to give me for the month of June. Hiyo ya mwisho ndio itanifanya nijue watu wamefanya the right thing. You cannot get wrong things from January and then ikifika June unaniambia umepata the correct one. So wacha tufikie hapo June. Net receipts for the month of, or let's call it net cash for the current period. Cash collected for the month of June ndio nataka kuona watu wanapata. Mwalimu scroll juu kidogo, I confirm something. Okay. Haya tumeweka hapo sasa. Ya month of June, cash yenye ni collect your month of June ni ngapi? Month of June, after collecting you paid for some items. After paying for those items, what was your balance for the month of June? Wacha nione wenye wananidanganya hapa. For the month of June, tuko nayo hapa 31,460, 31,160, 34,160, 34,160. Haya, sio iko sawa? Now the cash collected for the year, then we need to do what? To add. We need to add cash balance brought down. Cash balance brought down for us to be able to get cash balance carried down. Sasa nataka tufanye na hii kwanza. Cash balance brought down. Hapa January, kuna cash balance from the month of December. Do we have cash balance from the month of December? Do we have cash balance from the month of December? I'm getting negative. Sasa wewe kuna kitu umekosea. Negatives unapata wapi? You received 86 million. You spent 31 million. Si hapa hii ndio tulispend. Sorry. This is what we spent. Fatma, sasa wewe umefanya vitu zingine yenye hatuoni hapa. You received 86 million, you spent 31 million. Hakuna negative hapo. Unatudanganya mahali. Fatma, look for that figure. Angalia vizuri. Good. So tumeambiwa, I'm being told here, I'm getting in June. Angalia vizuri. Angalia what you've not included. Are you having 195,800 for the receipts? Then the amount that you spent, angalia hii list vizuri kama uko na kitu kama hiyo. Angalia hapa vizuri. Negative in July. Yes, July you received 82 million, you spent 100. Hiyo iko na negative. Total payments ndio hizi hapa sasa. Total payments ndio hizi zote. Unapata hivi. Then you now cash collected ni total receipts minus what you paid for. Negative ya July iko perfect because you received 82 million, you spent 100 million. So that is it. Good. Aya. Now, here I'm being told that the cash balance brought down. We were not given. Hatukupewa something. Is it? So we don't have cash balance brought down. What about total payments? Yeah, which month? Tuko nazo hapa hizi total payments ndio hizi. It is the summation of all the payments ya hii period yote tumeweka hapo. Haya. Sasa we don't have cash balance brought down from the previous period. How about now the balance ya cash in our account? What will be the cash balance? The closing. The balance carried down. What will be the balance carried down in the month of January? What do we do? Our data ends in June. What do we do? Watu wengine wako concerned na hii ingine, but I want us to get to the point. Remember the examiner was telling you about from which month? 1st of April to June. So let's focus on this area. Nataka munipatie hii figure kwanza. What are we going to do? We are going to say is equal to what we've collected for the period plus carried down. I mean brought down of the previous period. What we add from the previous period plus what we've remained with in the current period. Tukiongeza zote, tunapata closing balance in the cash account. Is it? That's what you do in the first period, and you do that across. But I want just to stop at this part here of March. I want to stop in the period of March. It is giving me the summation of the two. The period of March. So can somebody give me the net cash balance E, this one here, for the month of February? Utakuwa na ngapi? I want to see for the month of February. Cash balance in the month of February. Hatujafika hapo. Osen, wachana na hiyo. Hiyo hata sijaguza. Unaona hii? Sahau hii kwanza. Hiyo additional information number 10 tuisahau kwanza. Hiyo tusahau. Nimeifunga kabisa. Let's assume it is not there. Assume the data which you are having is what I'm displaying on my screen. What will be the cash balance for the month of February? Itakuwa ngapi? Here, we were saying that we were not given the closing cash balance in the month of December. If I come to February, what is my opening cash balance? Itakuwa ya gapi? Opening. My opening is the closing of January. So I will say equal to. What is the closing of January? Si ni hapa. Closing of January ni 5508. So I will say equal to 5508. Na sinanipatia chenye mlikuwa naniambia hapa hivi 105,580. When I come to March, what will be my opening? I want to see. Opening hii figure ya hapa. Opening ya March itakuwa ngapi? Opening ya March hii nitaweka week, how much here? How much will I place here? How much will I place here? Mtu ananidanganya. 55 tena. No. Ona penye tumetoa 55. It is closing ya January. Closing ya February tunaleta hapa inakuwa opening ya March. When I come down here, about April. Opening ya April itakuwa closing ya March. Angalia hii figure vizuri, italeta 174,580. Then down here tulikuwa tunasema ni summation of opening plus for the current period. Unafanya hivyo. Then we do that up to the last month. Up to the last month. Is that clear now? Is that clear? Is it clear to somebody? Tumeweza kuona kitu kweli? Have we been able to see something? Have we been able to see something? Have we been able to see something? So long as you are able to follow the movement of cash. Hii pesa ilitoka wapi? Tumereceive pesa from sales. Then what else? We also made payments. And then after that, are we having any opening cash balance? Yes. Where should I put it? And that's what we have seen. So that's what you are supposed to do. That's what you are supposed to do. But the examiner is now telling us something. Let's now get to what Osen was concerned about. April, we have opening balance. Yes. We were given, hapo sasa ndio naelekea. Tutulie kwanza. Tunakuja hapo. Because in some questions, they are not going to give you that. They will tell you that the closing cash for the month of December is this. Alafu kuje work out from this part. The examiner was more concerned about April to June. So number one, tumeona kwanza under sales that were done in the month of January are affecting February, March. What was done in February extended and was also affecting our March and April, which they wanted us to prepare. So without March, you have nothing to present for April. Without some figures for February, you have nothing to present for April. Tumeelewana hapo? It is spreading across. When you come to expenses, you're also able to see material that were purchased are paid for on accrual basis. Without the sales for the month of March, you cannot have what you are presenting to us in April, because what you are presenting here in April as expense is about what was done, what was purchased in March. What was purchased in March. Now, let's come to additional information number 10. Yenye watu wanatafuta na I'm trying to explain something. Let's come to this additional information number 10. Wanasema, the cash balance as at 1st of April is estimated as 144,500,000. Tunaiweka wapi? Help me understand. We are told to prepare from April to June. Now, tuko hapa April. Hiyo 144 tunaiweka wapi? Hiyo 144 tunaiweka wapi? Let me highlight this one here. Or let me highlight this. Let me highlight this. And then this one here to remain unhighlighted. So, which one? Where are we going to insert it? Is it where I've placed my cursor or where I have highlighted? Itakuwa wapi? Itakuwa wapi? Where will I place that 144,500? Where will I place it? Good. I can see those who are following what we are doing. Unaona hii 174,580 ni imetoka wapi? Ni closing ya March. So tukiambiwa ni opening ya April, hapa tunaweka hiyo 144 hapa. 144,500,000. 144,500,000. Ukifanya hivyo umeileta hapa. So imagine these other ones you had to do them, but after doing that examiner anakuja na mark which part hii ndio alikuwa anataka. Hizo vitu zingine yenye tumefanya was just helping us to get. We are going to call them workings, but the main part to give you marks ni easy. So hizo zingine zenye tumefanya zinaitwa hizo ni workings, hizo ni workings. So this is what they are supposed to mark. Hii part uko na sales, total sales ya hii, kuja hapa total receipts ni hizi. Yes, that is correct. Then how about net cash received ni hii? Yes, that is it. Hizi vitu zingine zenye ziko hapa kando na huku are not part of the question, but they are workings. You cannot get to this point without those ones. Don't hide them. Don't hide them. Unaweza pata kuna kitu kingine hapa hivi umefanya vibaya tu kidogo, but you are on the right track. Na upate ka 1 mark there. So just leave them the way they are. They know what they are going to mark, but leave everything to them. So long as you've been able to do this, let them remain with everything there. Good. So that is it. I want to take like 6 minutes maximum for us to look at something here. So recording of this class.